A few weeks ago, we got our first look at the new 2026 Thomas series, in the form of a book based on said series. However, now, for the first time, we can actually see what the series looks like, in the form of the promotional material depicted on the die-cast toys packaging. In this video, I'll be revealing all of these promos, expand on them with my own edits, and discuss the merchandise and the direction the show is heading. Now let's begin. Thomas. He has an excellent die-cast model. I've said it before, I'll say it again. However, his promotional material is basically just him. It's a perfect recreation of his post-Braba Rivets CGI render, besides the obviously changed face. Now this face will definitely take a lot of getting used to, but I can see it kind of conveying his cheeky, happy persona. Now Percy, we need to discuss the elephant in the room here, and that is AI. Many have speculated Thomas and the other renders are being generated by AI. We're yet to see if this is the case for the actual show, not just a promotional material, but we'll discuss that more in depth later. Now Percy has a massive grin on his face. He looks uncharacteristically super happy, in contrast to an engine who in the CGI series was always sad, or in the model series was depicted as a working class hero, often looked down upon. Again, his model is really good, however his CGI render is basically just his nitrogen pre-Braba render with an added handrail on the side. Now Toby, here's where it gets interesting. This is one we haven't seen before. First his die-cast model. Look, it looks great, but where are his cow catchers? They're completely missing. Now his actual render, I am certain this is just copied and pasted from a nitrogen promo, and they just added the face, potentially using AI. But I can't say I totally dislike this face. It doesn't look as uncanny as some of the others, and it actually conveys the wise old jovial Toby we all know and love. Now I can't say the same for the next engine. This face is a massive change. Rosie now has massive eyebrows, a really cheeky grin, but I really can't say that this isn't Rosie. I mean, I could look at this face and say this is a fun-spirited, happy locomotive, and that's essentially what Rosie is. Potentially they gave her a more masculine face to further separate her from the girl stereotype she was considered earlier on in the series. So, in my opinion, it's a massive change, but I wouldn't say it's the end of the world. Now, Rosie's actual model, again, is great. Superb detail, but the magnets are so fat, janky, and they just remind me of 2014 Take and Play. I really think they should have gone with the Adventures couplings for this range. Would have made it way better. Anyways, Diesel. Now, I actually like his face. It conveys the snarky and scheming Diesel of the Brenner and Classic eras, but is also mixed with his competitive and sometimes charming persona from All Engines Go. I really think that this is a good compromise Diesel between All Engines Go and the original series. The most notable change is his running board is now red. This will obviously take some getting used to, but dare I say it, this might be a political move to try and diminish some racial stereotypes in popular media that Diesel is the black one, and he always gets othered because he's a Diesel. Anyways, I digress. Ooh, this is interesting. Now I'm going to say something controversial and say I really love the face they put on the promotional art. It makes him look so devilish, scheming, and mischievous. The perfect persona of the troublesome truck in the classic Thomas series. I'm not entirely sure if this is just copied and pasted from his push-along model. However, the obvious change is he's now yellow. I think it's really nice that they're selling a troublesome truck on its own, but if it was up to me, he would be grey. Dare I say it, he might be yellow to distinguish himself from the other characters on the shelves. And also, Rebecca's not yet confirmed to be appearing, so yellow's a colour currently unoccupied right now, and this random troublesome truck can fill it. I'm not sure that this troublesome truck is actually going to be a character in himself in the main series, but we'll see. And Harold. Now we actually see what he looks like in the show, after all that hype about him being in that Tin Man Shed set. And again, I'm going to say something controversial and say, I don't hate his design here. I mean, it's 2026, Harold couldn't be stuck in the 1960s forever. And honestly, if Mattel didn't find him marketable as he was, I'm happy that he's at least still around in the show. There's been so many people comparing Harold's face to the late Charlie Kirk, and I can kind of see it, to be honest. Maybe someone at Mattel used some inspiration. Anyways, now the elephant in the room. This image has been circulating everywhere. Everyone's saying it proves the renders are AI generated. Honestly, I can't confirm that they are AI generated, but there's a lot of evidence pointing that way, especially Mattel's partnership with OpenAI. Now, just looking at the packaging progression over the years, and I feel like this new style of packaging is possibly the best packaging we've had in a long time. Every individual character is shown clearly. The packaging isn't oversized like the Take and Play variants. It's overall just a nice compact design for a compact push-along locomotive. Now I'm going to show you all my CGI renders in a few seconds, but before that, I'd really appreciate if you all subscribe. I'm on my way to 1k subscribers, and I hope to get there soon. So thank you for subscribing, and onto the CGI renders. So first, here's Thomas. Basically, it's his Brenner era model, except he has rivets just below the top of his lining now, and of course, that new face. Next we have Rosie. So I basically just copied and pasted this from her Brenner era render post-redesign and added the new face on top. This is what it's looking like, she'll be looking like in the new series. And finally we have Toby. This time I actually took his nitrogen render, as I felt that had more similarities to the promotional art than his Brenner era design had, which seemed to be a bit more lightly coloured. Now onto my prediction for what form the show is actually going to take. Now I believe CGI will return, but rebooted. Every character, or at least every character where it's viable, will have a new face. Personally, I feel this is the best realistic outcome we could have gotten, with the best outcome obviously being the Brenner era itself returning, but I'm not too displeased with this, considering it could have been much worse. I do wonder if they'll really change every single engine's face. That's bound to take a lot of work. And also, some of the new faces just aren't easily remembered, or hark back to the old Thomas and Friends series, the faces that fans all know and love. Now, what do I think about this show being on YouTube Kids? I hope that the series isn't exclusively on YouTube Kids, because that could mean a massive decline in quality, like we saw in the Thomas birthday shorts. But hopefully this means that the show is simply played also on YouTube Kids, and not just discarded as a direct-to-home product that usually doesn't turn out well. Okay, now this was bound to come up, but it's really important we talk about this. So Mattel and OpenAI are in cahoots. Now, do I necessarily think that this will mean that the show itself will be bad? No, the show could still have amazing writing, amazing character design, but obviously there's always a stigma against AI, but we'll just have to see how that plays out. So far we've only seen AI in the character renders, and we are yet to see it in the actual show. So as for now, we'll give Mattel the benefit of the doubt, but let's see come the release of the new show mid this year. Anyways, as always, this is Six Train signing out. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.